All right, here we go. Second take. This is Patricia with Stampin' with Patricia on Facebook. And I will put the link down below for my website as well. And these items are mostly going to be out of the annual catalog. It will start May 4th, 2021. If you do not have a catalog yet or do not have a demonstrator yet, I would love to be a demonstrator with you or for you. I can't show you the inside of that catalog until May 4th. But we are going to look at some of the new colors: Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, and Polished Pink, which we're actually not going to use tonight, but those are some of the new colors. And the ones that we are going to use are Soft, Succulent, and Pale Papaya. Don't you love those names? A little different, right? So, to start with, we are going to begin with our Fresh Freesia. We're not going to use the ink, but we are going to use the cardstock. And this is half of an 8.5 by 11. So it's 8.5 by 5.5. And we are going to fold that into our card base. And then we are going to put on I forgot to show you the card we're going to make. We're going to make a card similar to this one. We're going to use a slightly different paper. We're going to use a different ribbon. But basically that's the card that we are going to be making. And this paper that we're using is new. It's a DSP or Designer Series paper. And it is hand-penned Designer Series paper. There's Basic Black, Blushing Bride, Cinnamon Cider, Daffodil Delight, Garden Green, Highland Heather, Mint Macaron, Misty Moonlight, Pale Papaya, Pool Party, and Whisper White. It's actually not Whisper White, it's Basic White. But these are the papers in this DSP. Let me spread them out here in my very limited space. Right here. One more. There we go. Okay, these are the fronts of those papers, and they're all flowered and, you know, mixed all together like this. You don't see a whole lot of difference between them other than colors, but flip them and oh yeah, look at all those colors. Makes great backgrounds for scrapbook pages and all kinds of stuff. And that's one of the neat things about Stampin' Up's colors is the colors all work together, but or match. In other words, if I have a Pale Papaya here and a Pale Papaya and something else, they're all going to coordinate. And so what we're going to do is put this. Now, we could have put that color on there, but we're going to go with the one we decided with. And we're going to put us some Stampin Seal on here to get this card started. And I have this piece of DSP or Designer Series paper cut to 4 by 5 1/4, so that it's 1/4 inch all the way around. I got that a little bit crooked there, but we'll live. And now let's create our piece that we're going to stamp on. Now this one I messed up on. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but I did mess up on it. So we are going to create our own, and we wanted to do that anyway, right? So we're going to start with our lovely Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and it has a nice small footprint when you have it sitting on your desk, but then when you go use it, it's a really powerful machine. It does come with all of these plates that you see me using here, as well as instructions. Boy, I'm moving all around because I'm on that base. But it does have instructions. If you look on here, it tells you which plates to use and what order to have them in. It also comes with 2 other plates, and you'll notice they're numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the 3D is for the 4, and the 3 is for standard embossing plates. And what I generally do is I've got these 2 cutting plates. These are actually the only 2 number 2s. Let's see, let's get it turned around so you can see the 2s on there. But these are the only 2 that you would actually cut into. And you'll notice this one has not been cut into. It's nice and clear and you can see through it. This one has been cut into. And what I do is I cut into 1 plate. And I'm constantly turning it all different directions. I even turn the one that you don't cut into. And eventually this one will no longer do its job. And when that happens, you just throw it away and start using the one that I call the no-cut plate, and then get a new cutting plate to use for that. But this is now our piece that we are going to stamp on. And I'm going to pull out my stamping mat. I'm going to pull out my Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I am going to stamp my sentiment. And my sentiment says, "Sending sunshine for a beautiful birthday." So I'm going to stamp it on there real good, get lots of ink, kind of turn it all different directions, and then I'm going to stamp it down on the pad to give it some good connection. Hold it there so the ink transfers. Lift it up. We're all good. Cover my Memento ink back up. And now I am ready to put this on my card. And I am just going to go ahead and put this on with some more. Not sure I even got any on there. Yeah, it's on there. Just couldn't see it because of all the lights. And I'm going to put that on there as well, and about the center. Okay, rested it on something. I'm not sure what. Interesting. Anyway, so now I am ready to stamp my flower, and again I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo black ink, and this flower is from that hand-penned stamp set that we were looking at. Gonna get good ink on there, good impression. Oops, I picked up the wrong paper. And stamp it down. Again, I'm gonna hold it, let that ink transfer. There we go. And this time I'm going to use my Pale Papaya and a stamp set from that same stamp set, the hand-penned one. And, you know, this is intended to look a little bit watercolory. It's not intended to be perfect, but just because we can, we are going to go back with this with some blends markers, and we're going to add a little bit to it. Stamp that on there, and then I'm going to pull out for my leaves, soft succulent. You'll notice to open these, if you hold it kind of like a compact and push the back, then swing it open and slide it in. If you're having a hard time with it, either just keep working at it, or let me show you this here in just a second. You can take right along here a candle or you know, something kind of waxy and slide it on there a little bit to give it some smoothness, and then it will move just fine for you. Okay, so we've got those on there. We could color our stem and add some accents in any number of ways, but we're going to use these new blends, and every set of blends, I have them upside down. In every set of blends, they come in a set of 2. You've got dark Pale Papaya and light Pale Papaya. In this case, we've got our dark, let me turn them over, our light soft succulent and our dark soft succulent. You can tell with the ends, the color pen ends as well. But you'll also notice there's a wide mark and a skinny mark. The wide mark gives you a paintbrush type of end on it, and your fine mark gives you a, you know, it's a little more sharper, I guess, a sharper image. The color isn't different. It's just a little finer line. I am going to start. I like the painter end. Forgot to stamp that last leaf. Get me a little bit more ink and put a little bit of flower or leaf on there. Okay, then what I like to do is start with the dark. You can start with the dark or the light, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of an edge there. Okay, just a little bit. And then on the inside of these leaves, I'm going to follow the lines that are already in there for us. And it just gives it a little bit of an accent. It's not intended to be perfect by any means. If you're a perfectionist, you need to let it go, right? Okay, so get that in there. Then I'm going to come in with my light. And you see how I started over here on the left. I'm going to give it a bit of a swirl and fill that in. Even go over where my Pale Papaya went a little bit. And then just come in here. Anything I think needs filled in. And if I want a little bit of extra filling, I don't want to cover all of the white parts. I kind of want them in there. But then I'm going to come in my flower, do the same. Go over those dark bits. I'm also going to fill in just a little bit here where my flower would come out. Now, if you want these to blend really nicely, what you do is you do your dark or your light, whatever works for you, and then come back in with the other one. And then just kind of do a little bit of blending. It looks then like there's no hard transition. Okay, give it a little bit of time to dry. Now my flower is ready, and what I'm going to do is cut this off a little bit so that it will fit in my cutter, and I mean my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, sorry, my cutter. And so I'm just going to trim it down just a bit. There we go. I love that paper trimmer. Okay, open it back up. Get my 2 plates. 2 plates, not 3, or 3 plates, not 4. Set that on there. And then the question would be, what did I do with my die? I know all of my people who come to class on the first Friday and Saturday of every month, they would say, "It's right in front of you, Patricia. It's right in front of you." Oh, I put it back in the case. Imagine that. It wasn't right in front of me. And then I am going to line it up. Again, does not have to be perfect. You want to do the best you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Lay that top plate on there without moving it. Again, the best you can. Oh, didn't get it quite in there, did I? Okay, and roll it through. I shouldn't be using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. By the way, this is the mini on the paper background, but I did, so 'tis what it 'tis, right? All right, then that I can either throw away, or if I can get a piece out of it, that's great too. Then I'm going to take this and the piece I created. Whoops, that's not the good one. Where'd my good one go? Again, they would say it's right in front of you. It's here. I know I just made it. And I haven't gone anywhere. Oh, we put it on the card already. Imagine that. Okay, so then I am going to take my Dimensionals. Oh my goodness, this is my moment to lose everything. And they're right where I put them, of course. Okay, so I'm going to put some Dimensionals. These are really nice, already cut little sponge things, if you will, that you can put on whatever you want to raise up. Just a little bit. You don't have to put a lot on there. You want to put enough to hold it up, but you don't have to put a lot on there. And then I'm going to put my flower on. There we go. And I'm going to create a little bit of ribbon. I like to keep my ribbon on the spool, and then I just tie a little bunny ear bow. It's very simple. Hold on to the ends because I'm going to adjust them and get it about where I want it. Tighten it up, keep adjusting, and then when I have it about where I want it, take my scissors, and then I can finish straightening everything up. Okay, tighten it nicely. Be sure to cut nice straight, or not straight, but clean ends. Grab a, I just saw them. Oh, here they are. Okay. Grab a glue dot, and basically I put it on the glue dot and then pull it off. If I'm having trouble pulling it off, I just take your pick tool and pull that off, and then put it on your flower, and there you go. Now, the one thing we haven't done is the inside of our card. And with the inside of your card, you can do any number of things. It's nice to stamp something, but it's also, you know, a sentiment, but it's also nice to use some of that designer series paper to draw everything together. So that's what I'm going to do on this one. And I'm just going to match that up to my edges. You could do a skinnier, whoops, it's not stuck yet. Yes, it is. It's going to go. Okay. And then just cut the end off. There we go. If I really felt that was badly done, I could use my paper trimmer and just trim off a bit, which I think I'll do this time. There we go. I've trimmed off a bit, and you can never tell that anything was wrong. And now I'm going to open up my card. I'm going to open it, put some more glue on there, or in this case the Stampin Seal. And put the inside of my card. And there we go. A nice pretty card. Sending sunshine for a beautiful birthday. And plenty of room to write on the inside.